Hi everyone, we're back here with another topic to discuss, and you're probably gonna be triggered, but I'm used to that. One of my favorite sentences that I get in this niche and kind of delegitimize my existence in the Jewish advocacy work, simply because I'm not Jewish, is the following. Oh, you don't understand anything because you are not Jewish. What exactly I don't understand? Yes. I'm very respectful, so don't get me wrong. My tone of voice here is just being cynical, but I'm actually serious inside. Yes, there are a couple of things I will never understand. I will never understand the collective trauma. But I understand what it means to lose family members to a regime. My great-grandfather was taken to the Gulag and nobody ever seen him after. Nobody. One night, they knocked on their door and he was gone. I might not understand the Jewish collective trauma, but I do understand the trauma that was caused, for example, on my family because of the Soviet regime. That my grandmother and her sisters needed to hide in the attic, not to be raped by Russian soldiers. That my own dad couldn't choose the career path he wanted because he was against the communist regime, or that he was taken to the army in the middle of nowhere while my mom was pregnant with me. And we were poor as... Yes, these last two stories might not compare to the suffering of the people at the Shoah, but it doesn't mean that there is no collective trauma inherited from generation to generation. And I also understand that the Jewish community really dislikes the comparison between the Shoah and other genocide and other anti-human actions and mass murder. And I can relate to that. I can understand why that feeling is so sensitively engraved in the Jewish community. On the other hand, I really would welcome you to understand that in this sense, we cannot cherry pick between death and between traumas. There is a Holocaust survivor who lives in California, and she happens to be Hungarian. Her name is Edith Eva Eger. And her book says that there is no competition between traumas. She is a Holocaust survivor herself. The only reason she survived because she was formerly a dancer. And Mengele asked her to dance for him. During my journey, I had the honor to meet a really good number of Holocaust survivors. And there are two main groups how I could group them, if I may. One of them who could forgive and restart life and kind of find a peace in themselves, just like Edith Eva Eger. And there is the other group who could never forgive, and they are still filled with hatred and the desire to revenge. That is one person, for example, who told me in the eye that I'm Hungarian, so by default I'm anti-Semite because it runs in my DNA. But before I go into another whole topic here, let's go back to the basics. Can I, as a non-Jew, experience Jew hatred and anti-Semitism on my skin? Can I understand what the Jewish people are going through day after day right now? Or it's only the Jewish people who can understand? Let me tell you something, and I understand many of you will disagree, but I can experience Jew hatred on my skin, and I tell you why. And here are a couple of examples to demonstrate that. Number one, when I give a lecture at Stony Brook University, there were a couple of demonstrators handing out flyers with my picture on it saying, "I'm a baby killer." They totally assumed that I was Jewish and Israelis just because I was talking about this topic. Or when at Times Square there was a protest, I don't even remember against what, but there was a Netroy Karta, and I understand that they are a special sect within the Jewish community, but still, hear me out. The moment they saw me with an Israeli flag, one of them spat on me. He didn't care I was Jewish or not. He actually assumed I was Jewish. And he spat on me. Yeah, great feeling. Or let's talk about the death threats I've been receiving ever since I started to talk openly about Zionism, the Jewish civil rights movement, Israel and the Middle East. Do they care that I'm not Jewish? No. They are sending me messages that I hope you end up in a gas chamber just like all your relatives. They assume I'm Jewish. And here is a very shocking example, but I think that's gonna explain a lot. If I go to a shul, which I do several times, to Shabbat services or other kind of services, if God forbid there is a shooting, nobody is going to ask if I am Jewish or not. For them, I am Jewish because I am at the shul. So yes, there are certain things that a non-Jew won't understand. But to delegitimize a non-Jewish presence in the Jewish sphere just because she or he isn't Jewish, That's not a legitimate argument, actually. Throughout my 7 years journey in this niche, or even more actually, I've been harassed, I've been discriminated, I lost jobs, I lost friends, I lost dating opportunities, I lost boyfriends, I lost money, and I could go on and on and on how many things I've lost simply because of the assumption that I was a Jew. I would just want to encourage you, and I think that is the primary aim of my existence right now, is to better the communities and better the communication between our community. So let's stop with the you Jewish, I am a guy, you guy, I am a Jew kind of things. No, that's really not a forward-looking, future-driven and good-driven and success-driven outlook. We really need to stop that, because we are in this boat together. Because remember, what starts with the Jews never stops with the Jews. If you alienate the allies because of goy shaming and goy hating and using goy in a very derogative way, that's counterproductive. And so many people tell me, oh, the goy is not a bad word. I understand where the root is. However, today it's used in a very derogative way. So such as the Jewish community is telling and educating people what hurts them and what words we should not use. I'm trying to tell you that using goy today doesn't sound well. So perhaps let's start with eliminating that word. I hope I could give you some added value. As again, I'm happy to discuss. DM me, comment, whatever feels right for you. Until next time.